Hello, my name is Mary Ann, and this is the follow-up video to my summer #book hibernation readathon, TBR. Well, I'm back a few days later than originally planned with the follow-up, and it's just taken me a few more days to actually get this filmed. Lily is going to come help me with this part. I believe Lily has been on film before, but she wants to be on again. The TBR for that readathon included 6 books. The Diva Runs Out of Time by Krista Davis, which is also the Cozy Mystery Book Club Book of the Month for August. I'm going to post links below for the channels of the 2 people who run the Cozy Mystery Book Club, so that if anyone else is interested in checking out the Cozy Mystery Book Club, you can do so on their channels. Also, my second book was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. My third was One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. The 4th book on my list was The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. And my 5th book was If It Bleeds by Stephen King. And the 6th and final book on my TBR was Life of Pi by Yann Martel. Now, I didn't get through all the books. I will admit that. 2 of the books, The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society and The Life of Pi, I unfortunately didn't get to it all. Just being honest. One Crazy Summer and The Diva Runs Out of Time, I got about halfway to a little over halfway through. But I still have yet to finish them, although I'm enjoying them, so I am going to continue. I'll probably talk about them in a later video somewhere along the way. But I am going to continue reading them, so that's not a failure because they are good books and I like them. I did enjoy all of the books I read during this readathon, so that's definitely a plus. And that leads us to, what did I actually read? If It Bleeds by Stephen King, I went back to, and I gave a full chance this time, and I read the entire book. And actually I found that I really liked it upon reading it for a second time. I don't know if I was just in the wrong mood for it at first or what it was. Maybe I was expecting it to be something different than what it actually is, and once you know what it's going to be, you're not surprised by that, you know, with the fact that it's multiple stories. As a multi-story collection, I do have to say that it is true that there were some stories in there that I liked more than others, but there are 4 different stories. I liked them all, you know, okay. Some better than others, but overall the book was a 4-star for me. It was definitely a good read, and definitely improved upon giving it a second chance. The jewel in the crown of my readathon reads was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, hands down. Burial Rites was certainly not a light, fun summer read by any stretch of the imagination. It's the story of Agnes Magnusdóttir, who was the last woman to be publicly executed in Iceland in the year 1830. The story itself is set in the years 1829 and 1830, and also goes back into some background on Agnes's life that gets told in some stories as well. Well, Burial Rites is an incredibly moving story. Hannah Kent, her writing really brought the characters back to life. And more so, I think, when you realized that these were real people. This was not a story made up of someone's imagination. This is something that happened, and it happened to a real woman, it happened to real people. The things that you're reading about, as dark as some of them were all based on reality, based on truth. And I think that made it incredibly moving, and even more so than if it had just been fiction. And now Agnes, of course, is convicted of a double murder, or being involved in a double murder. There are others that are convicted of it as well. And it gives moving detail of her young life beforehand, the tragedies and the horrible treatment that she went through her entire life, even to the fact that, I don't want to give spoilers, but even to the fact that she is abandoned as a child, as a young girl, very young, by her mother, who just leaves her one day and goes off with her brother and disappears, and the struggles that she goes through being, you know, fostered by other families and growing up as a servant, and of course making her way as a servant in life, and eventually towards the end of the book finding a man that she thought, you know, that she fell in love with, that she thought loved her, who also treats her very cruelly and is ultimately also, not to give a spoiler, but he also happens to be one of the victims of the crime at the end, which is of course how she gets involved and suspected. It is heartrending, simply put. Her life is just so horrible, and we follow her all the way up to the end of her life. The book follows her to the execution block where she is taken and beheaded, which is the way that they executed prisoners in that time. It is graphic. Be warned, it does pack an emotional punch, but it is one that I would definitely recommend that anyone read. I know it's not a new book, so probably a lot of people have read it. Possibly others haven't, like myself. I had meant to read it a long time ago and just hadn't gotten to it until I got to it for this readathon. But I do recommend it, and I will say that it's definitely worth the read. It was a great book, and it was really, really engrossing. Now, I mean, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads only because I couldn't give it 6. It was that good. So it's definitely one I would recommend for anyone out there who wants something really meaty and emotional and moving, of, you know, an involved sort of novel. It's not a light read by any stretch of the imagination. Now, also part of the readathon was the extra bear prompt to take a photo of your favorite summer reading spot. And I posted my photo of my bed, complete with all of my 4 fur babies, and I posted that on Instagram. It is my favorite place to read any time of year, with my favorite companions, of course. I always have to have my fur babies with me, and they always usually are right there. But so you can see that on Instagram. I'll post a little shot of it here, just in case you didn't know where my Instagram is. My Instagram is under my name, so, but I'll post the picture here. And you can see the little girls on the bed with my Nook, or my Kindle. And that wraps up my follow-up of the hashtag book hibernation readathon. But I do have one further announcement. I had a poll, and I thank all those who did participate in it and vote in it. I had a poll out on Facebook and on Twitter, and I put a link to it on Instagram too, about an idea that I had been floating in my head to do a series reading and watching the works of Agatha Christie. And I've decided, well, the poll decided, honestly, that unanimously no one voted that I shouldn't do it. Everybody thought it was a good idea, and I hope they were telling me the truth. But I've decided to go ahead and do that, and start that series. It's going to be an ongoing series. It's not going to become the only thing that I do on my channel. It's just going to be a video here and there as I read them and watch them, because what I'm planning on doing is reading through Agatha Christie. I think I want to go in publication order, and as I read, watching any film version that exists of the story. and comparing how faithful it is to it, you know, how I liked it, just basically giving my critique on the book and then on the film and its portrayal of the book. And of course, I want to do these from the beginning. I want to start with the first book published. So I'm going to start with Agatha Christie's The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Yes, this is a real book this time. This is an old copy that I have had for years. It's a used copy. It was used when I got it, and it has been read and will be reread for this. I'm going to reread the book, and I'm going to watch the film adaptation, which for this one I believe is going to be one of the episodes of Poirot with David Suchet. So if anyone wants to follow along and watch the video that I found for this, The Mysterious Affair at Styles is done as a film in Season 3, Episode 1 of Agatha Christie's Poirot with David Suchet. So I'm going to be looking at that film and reading the book, of course, by Agatha Christie, and we'll be checking back with that. So that'll be a new series that I'm starting and moving forward with. Other than that, of course, I'll always be reading other books and other type of books. So the Christie series will be a sort of separate project that I'm doing. So I guess that's all for now. On behalf of myself and my little babies, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you all made it to the end. If you didn't, I'll have to put a timestamp in for that announcement on the Agatha Christie book and movie adaptation series, just in case there's anybody who didn't make it through my my detail of my book readathon. Okay, that would be all for now. See you in the next one.